In this video, I'm not just going to talk about the problems or the gap, but I'm also going to give you the exact playbook and step-by-step guides to actually get hired in US startups. The exact step-by-step playbook so that you can actionize a lot of your items, a lot of guides such as LinkedIn optimization toolkit, how to build production-grade projects which these companies would want to. Every single thing is given as a PDF into the entire video. And last but not the least, but the most important resource is the thousands of list of companies which I'm giving it to you for absolutely free, whom you can reach out to 25 people from there to every single person. And that's for absolutely free. Thousands of US companies which have attached the sheets which you can reach out, but make sure to do watch the whole video so you are grabbing those opportunities in the perfect way. There are thousands of US startups who are paying anywhere from $4,000 to $15,000 per month for a remote developer/engineer. And you know what? They would rather hire an American mediocre than to hire some brilliant Indian engineers. And the most interesting fact is not because of skill. Again, I want you to listen it. It's not because of the skill. Because of something that you were never taught to fix. Something that were not taught in your college, something that is not integrated into our education system, something your parents do not understand. Even if you're working professionals and working in some Indian culture, you're not taught these things there. And I'm gonna say a few things that will probably make me feel like I'm racist or make you uncomfortable. And frankly speaking, that's all right. Because I wanna put the exact truth to all of you so that you can understand that what exactly Indian engineers are lagging at. And I will not just end at some problems. I will also end this with the exact framework and playbook which you can follow to get into the US funded startups. I landed a job as a data scientist in a US funded startup when I was probably 13 or 14 as a teenager, and I joined as a fresher in a US startup, and my salary at that time was probably equal to a Google engineer who is working based out of India. And you know what? I have always worked with US and European companies out there. I run SBL, where we serve several North American B2B clients as well as top enterprise companies in India. So when I say that what these companies are looking for, I'm actually telling you from the experience rather than just looking at some things which people are already talking about. So here's the thing. A senior machine learning engineer or probably data scientist or probably developer in San Francisco Bay Area would cost a particular startup who have probably raised $10 million, $20 million, would cost somewhere around $250,000 to over $500,000 for an year. But at the same time, somebody with the capable and equal level skills or probably better than that actually comes at $60,000 to $120,000 for an entire year. To be honest, that 3x to 4x arbitrage opportunity which they will get the same level of capability, the same level of technical understanding, the same level of skills at 3x and 4x the cost. And you know what? The remote culture is completely normalized because COVID did make that remote culture permanent, not temporary, permanent. So there is a big arbitrage opportunity waiting for you, waiting for Indian engineers in US market. So you might be thinking Indian engineers cost less to US companies. You said, okay, there is a real opportunity, remote opportunity. Then why Indian engineers or specifically you are not getting hired? It's only because the market has a filter. And you must be thinking, okay, Americans or Europeans must be great at technical skills. No. Indians are probably better than Americans and Europeans at technical capabilities. So technical is not the only one filter. It's everything around the filter. And I won't kid, Indian engineers are the worst at everything which is around the technical aspects of a particular job role. So I'm going to tell you some of the gaps, and I have listed down gaps in exactly 5 specific areas. And nobody talks about it because it feels politically incorrect. But frankly speaking, I don't care about being politically correct. I just care about you getting hired, you getting into some US based company. Gap number 1, the tell me what to do problem. This is the single biggest killer, and it comes directly from Indian education. Indian education, it trains for instructions. Colleges tell you what to do, give you requirements, tell you what to study. Every single thing is all about telling you some requirements. And frankly speaking, it's not your mistake. Parents, every single person is telling you what to do, and probably you are just following their advice from your childhood itself. So we as an Indian have a problem. Okay, I will do something when we receive what to do, and that is the single biggest killer. So when I see an American engineer joining a stand-up, they say, I looked at the problem, here's what I think we should do, here's my reasoning, Here are the trade-offs. What do you think? But at the same time, when an Indian engineer joins the same stand-up, they say, what should I work on? Can you give me the requirements? What's the spec? And that's one difference. I'm telling you from the founder's perspective as well. That's a biggest killer, more than any technical gaps as well. And at my own company, we give full ownership to every single individual. Whoever comes on first, I just want them to not ask me what to do. Figure things out on your own, and I will tell you where to improve, and I'll tell you where I disagree with you. So that is gap number one. Here's the gap number two. The over deference problem. Indians are taught to respect authority. Say sir, don't challenge the senior person. Nod and agree. Don't make the boss uncomfortable. And you know what? In India, this is seen as the person is respecting or the person has to follow. But in US, this feels little cringy. This feels that you're just a yes person, that you do not have your own ideas, that you just follow what you say. And frankly speaking, this is another biggest problem. I'm again telling from the founder's perspective that whenever somebody disagrees with me and presents a valid point, the person has a different level of respect, because I think as a founder that the person is eventually very great at thinking of new ideas and even disagreeing to the things which it does not make sense to him. And I will tell you again, professional disagreement is a skill and it is must to know into this space. Here's the gap number three, the communication problem. And you know what? I'm going to be very direct here. Indians have a communication problem. And I'm not just talking about accent. I will get to that. I'm talking about the entire style. Indian engineers communicate in what I call as exam answers. For example, long, just cheesiness and getting things on the table, just like how you'd write answers in your exam, just to the questions, like you're getting some points of answering that question. And US startup communication is very short, it's very direct, it's very opinionated, it's very action oriented. I'm not kidding. If you say, I wanted to bring your attention on blah, 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 it's bullshit these days. I have seen the top engineers, the top people I've worked with, all the clients across the North America, across Europe clients, and of course, Indian clients as well. We have come to a situation where direct, any action, okay, tell me what to do, let's get things started. It's a small sentences, and it is really more about being opinionated than being action oriented, rather than Indians communicate in a way that they're writing an answer to a question. The gap number 4 is an extension to the communication problem. Is accent and personality problem. Indians have an accent problem, accept it or not. And more importantly, Indians have a personality presentation problem. So you do one thing. You talk to an American engineer, you go and talk to them, you see that, okay, how this guy will present himself, a good lighting, a good dress, thorough understanding, everywhere he's so confident. Even if he does not know the answer, he's so confident. He has a very nice background, he has a good lighting, he's dressed up well, his personality is great. But at the same time, you look at some Indian engineers, and I'm not being racist. I'm just talking about basic things to fix your internet, to have a good background, to really know how to talk well. Do not get shy while talking. Do not laugh towards ending the sentences. These are a few things which eventually differentiate. If the American recruiter or a recruiter asks you to explain the same thing 3 times, he or she is not going to have you, because in remote environment, that person, the most important skill is communication itself. So if your communication is not very sorted, where do you go itself? And I'm not being mean, I'm describing what US founder sees. A first impression matters more than you think. So now let's come to the accent. You don't need to sound American just to be clear, right? As I said. You just have to be clear in what you say. I do not sound American at all, but most of my clients are from America and Europe. So here's what you should do. Invest in a decent webcam, get a ring light, clean your background, and when you get on a call, have some energy. Sit up straight, speak clearly, stop underselling yourself. And here's the gap number 5, the visibility problem. Frankly speaking, in Indian culture, you let your words speak for itself. You're taught, if somebody is talking about his achievements, he's bragging himself, he's not being humble, etc., etc. You talk to one American, that guy will tell you everything which he has done in his life, all achievements and everything. And it is not again your problem. It is a community problem. As soon as you start to brag about something, your friends will start to mock, hey, see what this guy is doing. So from our inner self, we are not showing us. We are assuming that our words will speak. But in today's world, nobody looks at your actions. They don't have time to look at your actions. And where they will look at your actions? So you need to tell them, you need to really brag, not in a way that they will feel it is a brag, but you don't need to tell them in a most effective manner. And stop satisfying your friends or people who will not give you money. Simple as that. And just work with and just show the visibility so much. So now we talked about some of the things which is the gap into the market of Indian versus Americans. So now let's talk about technical, because yes, technical also matters a lot. US startups evaluation is completely different from what you're used to. So first thing, US startups don't care about your college, they don't care about your CGPA, they don't care about any such certificates, credentials which you might have got. The credential game might work in India, especially if you're from IITs, but also now it is diminishing. But in US, it's completely invisible. So here's what they care about. Can you build? Can you ship? Can you think under ambiguity? I'm gonna also post a job description from Hyperbound. That guy said that you'll have to create features when a customer requests it. You have to work tirelessly for the entire 5 weeks. Of course, they have the value work-life environment there. So you will see that what they exactly look for. In this, you cannot see that there are any such qualifications in terms of from which college you should be. So interview in US startup is not like Indian interview where they are asking you to tell me about all sorting algorithms, explain the difference between supervised learning and unsupervised learning, etc., etc. They will tell you something real. They will tell you to design a particular system that will pass this much requests, etc., etc. And then they will follow up with classifying questions, constraints, trade-offs, and much more. They will see that do you have a production thinking? They will see that can you ship things quickly? They will see that how do you analyze your failure and then come back to it? How do you eventually understand, okay, this is what works, this is what not? How do you accept things? How do you disagree? They will see every single thing in that aspect. So here's the exact playbook, which is 5 to 8 weeks playbook, which you should follow. For the week 1 to 3, build proof of work. And when I say build proof of work, do not take Titanic dataset. Do not take any such thing. Do not do that. Classify that into 6 projects. If you're in AI, then supervised, unsupervised, Gen AI, then you take some MLOps project, and then you take some, other deep learning project. In every project, what you do, you don't just do it on your own. What you do, you go to some of the job hiring functions who are hiring for that specific role, look at their job hiring functions. Based on the job hiring functions, develop a project, whatever that has been listed into that. That is something which you're literally working from the job hiring to there itself. And then what you can do, you have to also post about it publicly. At the same time, make sure everything. So, and in the age of AI, this is a completely different topic to discuss how to develop projects. But I have developed a several pager guide on how to build production grade projects. Not the usual stuff, but the one which actually looks good on your resume. Something which you have to work with AI and then develop it so that nobody can develop something like that. So I've developed a detailed guide on that, and that guide is in the description box below. Then parallelly, fix your presentation. So I have developed a detailed offer framework as well, where what you do, you first of all, okay, these are the companies I want to target. This is what I'm going to promise as a dream outcome. So you also figure out, okay, this company will not hire me because, so you write all the friction points. Given the friction points, you eventually go ahead and then say that, okay, if the company thinks I am not good at taking independent roles, I will show something that will eliminate their risk. If the company thinks that I'm not good at communication, I will show them some YouTube videos around it. So you list all the hiring functions, and then you list what can be the possible solutions. And that should be your offer presentation. And I have a whole workbook around it, again as a guide, which you can find in the description box below. And again, you have to keep on posting on LinkedIn 3x per week, depending upon whatever experiences which you're getting. And it's pretty easy as well. You know what? You just post something which actually matters. Have a good hook. Write it in the most grammatical mistakes. Do not use AI into that. Just write, be very authentic, because the new age of content which will work is authenticity. And again, this is the separate part of the video. This is another set of discussion which we'll have sometime later. And you do need to optimize your LinkedIn. And we have a detailed guide on how can you optimize LinkedIn in a best possible way with that step-by-step worksheet, so that you complete that and then you give it to GPT, and then you eventually have your perfect LinkedIn optimized profile. And again, that is in the description box below. And then you focus on strategic outreach. Reach out to 20 to 25 decision makers from Y Combinator, people who are launching a product hunt every single day. Do not stop, which means that you'll be reaching out to 800 people every single month. And every day, keep on improving your messaging. Keep on improving that how you're presenting. Keep on trying out new sort of angles of messaging. Learn about outbound prospecting and prospect you as a product to the particular out there and connect with them. Let them see your stuff. And eventually, I'm being very honest, founders love who comes and grabs the opportunity. And this is pretty easy playbook. What I have done, whatever I spoke, I've actually written the detailed action guides which you can implement step by step to be able to move ahead and complete that playbook, which all the way starts from offer framework to LinkedIn optimization to all the way down to the reaching out to the right people. And I've also attached over thousands of companies and startups in the United States which you can reach out to their founders on LinkedIn, and that's for absolutely free at no cost. So guys, I hope that you'll implement this, and I just want even 5 people implement this playbook, they will eventually get somewhere into the US market. I will see you, so feel free to grab all the resources which has been mentioned into this video, and I will see you in the next one with a better topic, something which is untalked, unfiltered, and a little bit uncomfortable. See you around.